So many couples are excited to kick off the new year and they're ready to have these relationship goals and like really start tackling them. But I find that they fail to do this one thing that actually sets them up for failure. Stay tuned as I tell you what. Hello, lovers and learners. My name is Beverley Andre. Welcome to my channel, Between You and B. I am a couples therapist who translates therapy into tools that you can use at home. This video is the start of my Relationship New Year series. And honestly, I'm so excited about doing this because one of my favorite things to do is goal setting. I'm so big on like writing your dreams down, writing your goals down, and then figuring out how to plan and to execute that plan. And I have found that lately it has been a trend for couples to like get this big old calendar and then go to the woods and the cabin and plan out our whole year. And I mean, it's great content, right? Like I enjoy seeing those reels. I enjoy seeing the intentionality behind couples who really want to be proactive with how they kick off their year or how they navigate the year. But one of the things that I notice that really sets them up for disconnection and for failure truly is they don't really take the time out to think about the previous year. Like, when was the last time you thought about your relationship? Like at the top of a new year, did you ever take a beat and like, hey, like let's how did we navigate last year? Like, what did you like? What did you not like? How did you experience me? How did I experience you? Like, a lot of couples just aren't thinking about that. A lot of couples just aren't reflecting about how their year went. It's really like new year, new me, new us. We're moving forward. And I get that, right? Like, I get the sentiment of like not looking backwards. But in this sense, it's so important because really that sets up your baseline. And I think sometimes in the busyness of life, that it really is a little bit difficult for couples to be able to connect and to really process with each other. Hey, this is what happened. Like, this is the pattern that I noticed that we were operating in, that I don't think I really like that, or I really struggled with how we talked about finances. And taking the time out to really slow down and to say, hey, like, let's really take stock of how we navigated last year allows you also an opportunity for repair, for you guys to literally shed some light on maybe some moments that you didn't realize you were holding on to or your partner was holding on to. And so, above anything else, like if you really think about the why, if you really think about like why should we take out time to do this, because you want to be able to have an informed take on how you're creating your goals for this year. You want to make sure that both of you guys are in alignment as you're trying to be aligned on these goals. I really just want to like take you through how to go about doing this, because honestly, I think that's another area that couples do struggle with is a structure. You know, this is not just, oh, we're just talking and rehashing things in the past. No, this is literally a strategic way of tackling your new year by first reflecting on last year. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the relationship review framework. And it really is just 4 questions, easy peasy. Well, I say easy peasy, but honestly, no, it's going to require you to really be curious about what the other person is saying. So yes, listening to understand and not debate, coming from a very curious place. So if your partner is saying something that you may not even necessarily agree with, or you share the same perspective, when you listen to understand and to be curious, you're really just kind of peeling back the layers of what they're saying. If you would like, you guys can do this over coffee or tea, or like, if you want to be one of those people who go to like a neutral setting where there's like a whiteboard and do all that, absolutely go do it. The key is just to make this intentional and not like a performance review. Like, this is not something that you're doing with your boss, you're doing this with your partner. So you want to make sure that you're ready to listen, that you have the energy, that you're not hungry, because believe it or not, being hungry can really impact your ability to listen and take in what someone is saying. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just kind of kick this off. And if you want, please take some notes. Take some notes. if you need help remembering. The first step in this relationship review is to celebrate the wins, like actually celebrate what worked last year. You have to give yourselves credit for doing things that went well, that really landed perfectly for, well, not perfectly, but that resonated with your partner. I don't want you to speed past this so that you guys are looking at the issues or the problems. Like, it's so important to know what's going well. Why? So you can do more of it. Really ask each other, like, what moments did you feel most connected to me? Like, what do you want to see more of? And so that way you're kind of thinking like, okay, like I really love the way that, we were doing our evening walks. So that was something my husband and I did last year. We really got into walking with each other when I was doing this step challenge, right? So it's like, okay, I really want to do more of that because I really enjoyed having just us time, without, our phones. It was just, just us. So really talk about like what worked well. And, I would even write these things down because really these are your strengths in your relationship. And I think it really does feel good to know where you guys are doing really well and where you guys can kind of double down on these things. Step one is celebrate your wins. Take about 2 to 3 minutes to really kind of think about, okay, like what did my partner really do well last year? Or what did we do well as a unit? And then share with each other. And then if you need some more time, keep building on that list and kind of surprise them with, hey, babe, I just thought about, we did X and X so good last year. I promise we should do more of that. Like, let's be a little bit more intentional with that. Step two is acknowledging what didn't work. So now's the harder part, right? Like, we're kind of transitioning from that feel good to the what didn't work. Like, where did we hurt each other? Like, what patterns did I notice that we were kind of engaging in that it just really helped me feel more disconnected from you? The goal here is to be super specific, like not, oh, I just want us to stop arguing so much, or we fought a lot. Why did you fight? Really get to the heart of the matter because that why highlights the pattern. An example of this would be, notice that we would really have like these little tiffs on Sunday nights. We really argued ahead of the week. And when I really think about it, it's because we didn't feel aligned. Like, we were not aligned. I feel like I was thinking about the week, but you were kind of just like on a day to day. And so it didn't really help us be on the same page throughout the week when it came to groceries or what's happening with the kids. Like, that allows you to invite your partner into how you were experiencing these moments of disconnection as opposed to blame. Like, the goal is not for you to say, okay, well, every Sunday we were having these issues because you weren't doing X and X. That's a very critical way of expressing how you feel. Dr. Gottman calls that a harsh startup, where your partner most likely will either shut down or they'll be defensive because of the way in which you decided to get your message across. So it's really important, especially in this section where we are acknowledging what didn't go well, that you have a softened approach when you are sharing how you experience your partner. And so an example of this would be to kick it off by saying, I feel about and what you needed. So once again, instead of saying like every Sunday we had this argument because you weren't doing right, an example of a very softened approach to that would be, you know what? I really felt frustrated that, on Sunday nights, like we would argue ahead of the week because we were just not aligned. And I really just needed us to just really just take a beat, at least maybe 10 to 15 minutes to kind of review the week so that we knew what was going on, where the kids were going to be, what we're going to have for dinner, all of those things. That's a very softened approach from, well, you are the reason why we struggled this week, right? Once again, the goal is for you guys to have clarity. You're both on the same team trying to figure out what's not working so that you guys can be proactive about that in this new year. Step three in the relationship review is request what you need. And so just like I said in the previous step, when it came to sharing your needs, it is very important for you to be able to express to your partner what do each of you need more or less of. Like, this is the portion of the conversation where you are advocating for yourself. Like, you are not relying on assumptions. You are taking agency and saying, hey, this is what I need. This is what you need. Now, what do we need together? Right? It sounds so cliche. But honestly, it's important, like, because the relationship encompasses both of you. And so you have to take ownership of what your needs are. Any need that is unexpressed is automatically unmet. Can you sit up here and blame your partner for not meeting your needs when you haven't communicated that to them? No. Just like I said before in the beginning with step one around like having some wait time, it actually may take you a bit for you to do this step. If you all wanted to take a beat and say, hey, like, let's take a 10-15 minute break for me to kind of figure out what my needs are, do what you have to do. Because you know what? It's so much easier to criticize when your needs are not being met. I hear this a lot actually from couples that it is a little difficult for them to navigate the process of one, identifying their needs, and then two, expressing it. And a lot of that, may come from childhood, feeling like you couldn't, share what you wanted in a safe place, and then kind of trickled into your relationships. There may be past experiences in your current relationship or even former relationships where it wasn't a safe place for you to express what your needs were without it being criticized or attacked or devalued, right? And so I want you to recognize that this portion of your conversation may feel the most vulnerable for you, especially if you're not comfortable or used to sharing what it is that you need. I do know that there are times when you may have tried to do this in your current relationship and it still didn't work out. And so there might be a feeling of, well, what's the point in me telling this person this? Because I've tried in the past and it didn't work out. I want you to know that I see you. I hear you. I've been there as well when it comes to expressing your needs. And it's like, oh, it was either ignored or rejected, or maybe just simply not met. And now you're a little bit more hesitant to try. This right here is going to require you to exercise a little bit of trust. If you and your partner are watching this video, or if it's just you watching this video, but you guys are going through this exercise and you're saying that, hey, I want to really try to show up differently. My partner is saying that they really want to try to show up differently. Then that both means that you guys are willing to try something new, which means that those past experiences, yes, they happen and we can't ignore the fact that it happened, but the amount of weight that you allow it to have currently in your life as you're trying to move forward and be proactive and be aligned with these goals in this new year, you're going to have to decide, am I willing to try? Am I willing to, exercise a little bit of trust? The conversation gets a little bit more weighted because it's like, hey, babe, we're doing this and we have past experiences that we're not going to like hold on to. And I need you to recognize that this is an exercise of trust. And if I'm going to share these things, I'm not saying that you're going to be, 100% on top of it, but there is a commitment to this process that is needed in order for you all to be successful. So when I say like request what you need, we also have to be mindful that you are ready to receive what your partner needs from you. Okay? So if they're like more quality time, less criticism, or hey, I need more non-sexual touch, all of it is valid. All of it is valid. We're not judging it. Okay? So that's step 3, request what you need. So now we're at step 4, establish boundaries. There are some things that may have happened last year that you're just like, we are not bringing this into the new year. Okay? Like, this cannot happen again. This is your relationship boundary. So I want you to think about what behaviors, patterns, or dynamics are just off the table. Like, hey, we cannot simply avoid having conversations about money unless there's a crisis. We cannot let work consume us to the point where we don't see each other. You have to be specific because these boundaries are essentially your North Star. It's so important because you're putting up these guardrails around your needs. It's like, hey, these are my needs, and hey, these are the boundaries. I want to feel safe with you. I want to feel like I can trust you. I want to feel like we're on the same page and that we are aligned. But I really did not like the way that we were doing this. Like, we're just not going to bed angry anymore. Like, these are the patterns that really got you guys to the point where you were disconnected. Like, hey, we are no longer making decisions around who comes over solo dolo. Like, we need to have a conversation about that. Or hey, like, even if you're upset with me, I expect you to still be able to communicate with me. And so I do want you to understand that this portion of it can feel a little spicy. So before you transition to establishing boundaries, I do want you guys to kind of do a little mini check-in. Maybe throughout each one of these steps, do a little mini check-in around like, okay, hey, how do you feel in this conversation so far? Do you still feel connected? Do you still feel like we're on the same page? Do you still feel safe? Or do you feel like you're maybe a little bit overwhelmed? Because by the time we get to the boundaries, it's like this is what we need in order to protect our connection, in order to protect our relationship. Okay. So, step 4, establish boundaries, is a crucial portion of this relationship review. I mentioned a check-in, and I know that even if you're watching this, I don't know if decided to do it along as I was explaining it, but I do want you to know that after you go through each of the steps, I call it the CARE framework. I don't know if you guys caught that, right? But the CARE framework, we're celebrating your wins, acknowledging your struggles, requesting needs, and establishing boundaries. Like, these 4 questions at most might take you maybe 30 to 45 minutes, an hour to complete. But I really want to address what you might be thinking. And what you might be thinking is like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. This is so much work. And it is. It is. And that's the beauty of it, because once again, if you have not steadily been thinking about your relationship, if you have not been steadily having conversation about your relationships, think about it. That's 365 days that you're kind of reviewing in a 45-minute to an hour conversation. Like, that is a lot. But it's so important because before you guys start trying to figure out these goals, you need to be aligned. And in order for you to be aligned, you need to make sure that the things that happened in the past, that you're just not rehashing it, that you're allowing yourselves to come to a place where you have acknowledged it, you are not ignoring it, you're giving an opportunity for you guys to heal if necessary, you're giving yourselves an opportunity to see each other because maybe you struggled with that last year. You might even be thinking that, what if my partner don't want to do this? And that's fair, right? Like, everybody has individual agency and different levels of readiness. You may know that you need to have this conversation, but that doesn't mean that you're ready to have this conversation. So if anything, start solo. Like, do your own review and share your answers with your partner. Like, hey, like, I know that you said that you weren't ready to do this relationship review, but I really want to tell you how I felt about last year. Lead by example. And maybe that might open the door, like, hey, I did this thing to reflect on our year. No pressure for you to engage with me. I would love for you to be able to, really think through this as well. But I really just want to share my stance. Okay. Another thing is, like, in this conversation, especially when it came to talking about like what hurt your feelings or some patterns that came up, like some serious stuff, may have come up for you, like might be a little scary. But I really want you to know that it's better that you know than pretend that it's fine. Because when you pretend that it's fine and you're still living life, you're still in a place where your needs are still unmet. And so, yes, like, this thing came up that you didn't realize was still an issue, but it's not a failure. This is information. And when you're a proactive approach about, okay, now that we know this, What do we want to do about this? Is this something that we feel like we can handle on our own? Is this something that we need support with? Like maybe we go see a therapist, talk to our clergy. You get to do something with it once you've acknowledged that it existed versus I'm gonna just keep sweeping it under the rug and now you got a lumpy rug. Like that's not the goal for 2026 or any other year. Okay. So yes, it was scary and this and there's some information that made you uncomfortable, but you have it. And now you guys get to decide what you want to do with it. One of the biggest things that I know that I've heard from couples that I have done this with is like, man, if this did not work, we did not agree. We disagreed so much. Yeah, you probably will. Like, that's normal. You are two different people, two different experiences, two different ways of navigating the world. The goal of this is not consensus. The goal of this is to understand each other, which is why I said earlier on that you have to be able to listen, to understand, and not to debate. Instead of y'all falling into this cycle where you're debating perspectives, it is necessary for you guys to be able to take a step back and say, hey, I am listening to learn. So if I'm listening to learn, what does that mean for me? What does that look like? That might even be something that you want to talk about before you even start implementing this. Like, hey, how do we make sure that we are on the same page about listening to learn and understand versus to defend perspective, right? So that might look like, okay, well, I know if you're asking me follow-up questions because you are genuinely curious, like I know that you're trying to understand my perspective. But if I feel like you're nitpicking my experiences or you're cutting me off or you're telling me that this was wrong, that's how I know that you're going into listening to defend versus to understand. So you guys need to be able to know what your individual cues are when you start sliding from listening to understand to defend. Okay, so truly allow yourselves the time and the energy to go through all of this. Okay, this relationship framework is, it's as effective as you want it to be. Your level of effort will be a direct reflection of the type of results that you get, right? Your action step for this week is to go ahead and download the relationship review workbook. Like, it's in the description below. All 4 questions, there's some prompts. You have the tools, it's already there for you. Allow yourself to schedule at least an hour. Put it on your calendar, okay? Make it special. Make it special. It doesn't have to be super serious or strict or confined. Have some wine if you want, some coffee, be in a comfortable space. Most importantly, though, give each other just your undivided attention. Like, don't have your phone out. You don't need no distractions. Wait till the kids go to bed. Like, do what you have to do. And you know, if you're honestly nervous and like you're watching this solo and you're trying to present this to your partner, you know, it's okay. But hey, babe, like, I saw this video on YouTube. This therapist was talking about this. This is the first step before we really, start creating some goals for this year. Like, are you okay with us taking at least an hour to kind of see how we like this process? Like, let's just try, right? Because we deserve to try. These questions will give you guys a lot more clarity on what you need in order to move forward a lot stronger than you did last year. I want you to know that the next video after this is really going to be focused on how to go from my vision to our vision. So both of you guys having your own perspectives about how you want the year to go and how to combine that so that it is a joint vision. I know that you will not want to miss this. So please make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel and enjoy all the content that has been specifically designed for couples like you. Don't forget to download the workbook below. Drop a comment too if there are any questions that you have about this, or if there's questions that maybe you're nervous to ask. Please go ahead and do all of it. I look forward to seeing you in the comments engaging. Until then, get intentional, and thank you so much for tuning in.